single dad and his daughter get lost in a foggy, cursed town until a mysterious nurse saves them from horrors. Like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell to catch our latest stories. You won't want to miss what's coming. The dense forest of Oregon stretched endlessly under a gray sky on May 17, 2025, as Sam Carter drove his beat-up pickup truck down a winding back road, his dark eyes scanning the path ahead, his calloused hands gripping the wheel. The hum of the engine, a comforting rhythm after a weekend camping trip with his 10-year-old daughter, Selena, who sat in the passenger seat, her curly hair bouncing as she hummed a tune, her small hands clutching a pine cone she'd collected. Her voice bright with the fun of their adventure. "Dad, can we come back next month? I want to find more pine cones, maybe even see a bear. Wouldn't that be cool?" Sam smiled, his deep voice warm but tinged with exhaustion, his 40-year-old frame still sore from hiking. "We'll see, baby girl, let's get home first. Your mom would have loved hearing about this trip. You know she always wanted to see a bear too." The mention of his late wife, Marla, who'd passed from leukemia 3 years ago, brought a familiar ache to his chest, a reminder of the promise he'd made to her, to give Selena a life full of wonder, a promise he clung to as a single dad, scraping by on a mechanic's salary in Portland. Their camping trips a rare escape from the daily grind, a chance to see Selena smile the way Marla used to. The road ahead began to blur as a thick fog rolled in, its white tendrils creeping through the trees like ghostly fingers, swallowing the forest in a matter of minutes, the visibility dropping to mere feet. And Sam slowed the truck, his brow furrowing as he flicked on the headlights, their beams bouncing uselessly off the mist, his voice tense. This fog came out of nowhere. "Stay buckled." "Selena, I'm gonna take it slow, we'll be fine." Then Selena pressed her face to the window, her breath fogging the glass, her voice a mix of awe and unease. "It's like a cloud on the ground. Dad, I can't see anything. Are we still on the right road?" Sam glanced at the dashboard GPS, its screen glitching, the signal lost, and he reached for his phone, only to find no bars, no connection. A creeping sense of dread settling in his gut as he realized they were cut off. The fog not just a weather anomaly, but something heavier, something wrong. And he muttered, "GPS is down. Phone too. We'll find a sign, figure out where we are. Don't worry." The truck crept forward, the fog growing thicker, the air colder, a strange hum vibrating through the vehicle, almost like a whisper, and Selena pointed ahead, her voice rising. "Dad, look, a sign. It says, 'Welcome to Asheville,' but it's all rusty, and there's no one here. Where is everybody?" Sam squinted through the mist, the sign's letters barely legible, the town's name unfamiliar, not on any map he knew. And as they rolled into Asheville, the streets were eerily empty, the buildings looming like skeletons in the fog, their windows dark, some shattered, the silence oppressive, broken only by the occasional creak of a swinging shop sign, the air thick with an unplaceable stench, like decay and ash. And Sam's instincts screamed at him to turn back, but the fog had closed in behind them, the road they'd come from vanishing into the white void, trapping them in this forsaken place. The truck's engine sputtered, the fuel gauge needle dipping into the red, and Sam cursed under his breath, his voice tight. "We're almost out of gas. I'll coast as far as I can. We'll find a station. Get out of here. This place doesn't feel right." Selena clutched her pine cone tighter, her voice small. "Dad, I'm scared. Something's moving out there. I saw it, like a shadow, but it wasn't a person. It had too many arms." Sam's heart jolted, his eyes darting to the fog, catching a glimpse of something. A distorted shape, humanoid but wrong, its limbs unnaturally long, its movements jerky, vanishing into the mist before he could be sure. And he forced calm into his voice. "It's just the fog playing tricks. Baby, we'll be okay. I promise." The truck rolled to a stop in the middle of a deserted street, the engine dying with a final cough, the silence that followed heavier than the fog. And Sam grabbed a flashlight from the glove box, his voice firm. We're walking. Stay close. Don't let go of my hand. We'll find help. Someone's got to be here." They stepped out, the air biting at their skin, the fog swirling around them like a living thing. And as they walked, the strange phenomena intensified. A child's laughter echoing from an empty alley. A street lamp flickering with no power. The sound of footsteps behind them, but no one there. And Selena's grip tightened. Her voice a whisper. "Dad, this isn't normal. Something's wrong with this town. I don't like it." Insane nodded, his jaw set, his flashlight beam cutting through the mist, revealing more of Asheville's decay, rusted cars abandoned on the side of the road, a doll with one eye lying in a puddle, its smile unnervingly wide. And then he saw them, figures emerging from the fog, 5 of them, their faces pale, their eyes hollow, their movements unnatural, like marionettes on broken strings, their hands clutching makeshift weapons, pipes, knives, a broken bottle, and Sam pushed Selena behind him. His voice a growl. "Stay back, whoever you are. We don't want trouble." The figures didn't respond, their eerie silence chilling as they advanced, their mouths opening to reveal jagged teeth, their voices a distorted chant. "Join us, stay forever." And Sam's blood ran cold, realizing these weren't robbers, weren't even human, but something else, something born of this cursed town. And as they lunged, Selena screamed, her cry piercing the fog, and Sam braced for a fight he wasn't sure he could win, his only thought to protect his daughter, to keep the promise he'd made to Marla. No matter what horrors Asheville held. The fog in Asheville thickened around Sam Carter and his 10-year-old daughter Selena as the grotesque figures closed in, their hollow eyes glinting with an unnatural hunger, their distorted mouths chanting in unison. "Join us, stay forever." The words a chilling echo that reverberated through the deserted street, their jerky movements sending a shiver down Sam's spine, his dark eyes narrowing as he tightened his grip on the flashlight, his beam trembling in the mist. His other arm shielding Selena, her small body pressed against his side, her voice a terrified whisper. "Dad, they're not people. They're monsters. We gotta run, please." Sam's heart pounded, his instincts as a father overriding the fear clawing at his gut, his years as a mechanic giving him no training for this, but his love for Selena giving him the strength to stand his ground. His voice a low growl. "Stay behind me, baby. I won't let them touch you. I swear." The figures lunged, their makeshift weapons gleaming in the fog, a rusted pipe, a jagged knife, a broken bottle, their movements unnaturally fast, their limbs bending at impossible angles. And Sam swung the flashlight like a club, the metal connecting with the nearest creature's head, the impact sending it staggering, a sickening crack echoing at its skull split, black ooze spilling onto the cracked pavement. But the others kept coming, their chants growing louder, more frenzied. And Sam grabbed Selena's hand, pulling her toward an alley, his voice urgent. "Run, don't look back, just run." They sprinted through the fog, the alley's narrow tunnels closing in, the air heavy with the stench of decay, the creature's footsteps pounding behind them, their distorted voices a haunting cacophony, and Selena's breath came in sobs, her small legs struggling to keep up, her pine cone clutched like a talisman, her voice breaking. "Dad, they're getting closer. I can't run faster. I'm scared." Sam scooped her into his arms, his muscles straining as he pushed himself harder, his boots slipping on the wet cobblestones, his mind racing for an escape. The alley opening into a wider street, the fog so thick he could barely see the rusted signs swinging above a boarded-up diner, the creature's chants now a guttural snarl, their claws scraping the pavement. And just as Sam felt their cold breath on his neck, a gunshot rang out, the sound sharp and deafening. A bullet whizzing past his ear to strike the lead creature square in the chest, its body convulsing as it collapsed, the others screeching in rage, their advance halting as another shot followed. Then another, the gunfire precise, lethal, cutting through the fog like a beacon. Sam turned, his chest heaving, Selena clinging to him. And there she was, a woman emerging from the mist, her silhouette striking against the gloom, her white nurse's uniform torn at the hem, revealing long, toned legs, her brunette hair flowing despite the chaos, her face fierce with determination, her green eyes blazing as she held a rifle with the confidence of a soldier, her voice a commanding shout. "Get down, now!" Sam dropped to his knees, shielding Selena with his body as the woman fired again, her shots methodical, each one dropping a creature, their bodies twitching in the fog, black ooze pooling beneath them, the last one lunging at her with a snarl, its claws outstretched. But she sidestepped with a grace that belied her nurse's attire, slamming the rifle's butt into its head, the creature collapsing in a heap, the street falling silent except for the faint drip of water and Selena's quiet sobs. The woman lowered her rifle, her breath visible in the cold air, her voice softer now. "You're safe for now. Come with me. I know a place, but we need to move. More will come." Sam stood, Selena still in his arms, his dark eyes meeting the woman's, her beauty striking even in the gloom, her nurse's outfit oddly alluring despite the blood splattered on its hem, her figure model-like, tall and poised, a stark contrast to the horror around them. And he nodded, his voice hoarse. "Who are you? How did you—" "Those things, what are they?" The woman slung the rifle over her shoulder, her gaze scanning the fog, her voice steady but tinged with sorrow. "I'm Liz. I've been stuck in Ashevale longer than I can remember. Those things, they're not human, not anymore. They're part of the curse. This town, it's not on any map. It's a trap, a limbo between worlds. And if you don't get out soon, you'll be stuck here too." Selena peeked out from Sam's arms, her voice trembling. "A curse, Dad? What's she talking about? I want to go home. I don't like this place." Liz knelt to Selena's level, her expression softening, her voice gentle. "I know, sweetheart, I'll help you get home. I promise. But you need to be brave. Can you do that for me?" Selena nodded, her small hand tightening around her pine cone, and Sam felt a surge of gratitude for this stranger, this Liz, who'd appeared like a guardian in the fog, but also a wariness. Ashevale's horrors were beyond anything he'd ever known, and Liz's words about a curse chilled him to the bone, stirring memories of Marla's death, the helplessness he'd felt, the promise to protect Selena at all costs, a promise he now feared he couldn't keep in this cursed town. Liz stood at her rifle ready, her voice urgent. "There's an old hospital a few blocks away. It's safe for now. I've been hiding there. We'll go together, but stay close. The fog hides worse things than those creatures." Sam nodded, his arm around Selena, his flashlight flickering as they followed Liz through the fog, the streets of Ashevale twisting around them, the buildings seeming to shift, their shadows stretching unnaturally, the air growing colder, heavier, the faint sound of whispers following them, unintelligible but menacing. And Sam's gut told him Liz was right. This town was alive, cursed, a nightmare they'd stumbled into. And as they reached the hospital, its broken sign reading, Ashevale General, the doors creaking open to reveal a dark, decaying interior. Sam knew their fight for survival had only just begun, a fight that would test his courage, his love for Selena, and the mystery of the woman who'd saved them. A woman who seemed as much a part of this town's curse as the horrors lurking in the fog. The interior of Ashevale General Hospital loomed like a mausoleum as Sam Carter pushed through the creaking doors, his 10-year-old daughter Selena clinging to his side, her small hand trembling in his, her pine cone clutched like a lifeline, the flickering beam of his flashlight cutting through the darkness, revealing cracked linoleum floors, rusted gurneys tipped over in the shadows, and walls smeared with stains that looked too much like blood. The air thick with the stench of mildew and something sweeter, more sinister, a decay that seemed to pulse with the fog outside, the oppressive silence broken only by the faint drip of water echoing from somewhere deep within the building. And Sam's dark eyes darted to every corner, his heart pounding as he followed Liz, the mysterious nurse who'd saved them from the grotesque creatures in the fog, her white uniform stained with black ooze, her rifle slung over her shoulder. Her green eyes sharp with a haunted knowledge as she led them through the labyrinth of corridors, her voice low and steady. Stay close. This place is a maze, but it's the safest spot in Asheville. For now, the things out there don't come inside often. They fear the echoes here. Selena's voice quivered, her small frame pressing closer to Sam. Echoes? What echoes? What are they, Ms. Liz? Why is this town so scary? I just want to go home to Portland. I don't like it here. Liz glanced back, her expression softening, a flicker of sorrow in her eyes as she knelt briefly to touch Selena's shoulder. I know, sweetheart, I'll get you home. But Asheville isn't a normal town. It's cursed, trapped between our world and something else, a place of shadows and pain. And the echoes, they're the voices of the ones who got stuck, the ones who didn't make it out. Sam's jaw tightened, his mind racing with questions, his instincts screaming that Liz knew more than she was saying, her words stirring a deep unease as he adjusted his grip on the flashlight, his voice gruff. What do you mean, cursed? How did this happen? And how do you know all this? Who are you, really? Liz stood, her rifle at the ready as she led them deeper into the hospital, her voice heavy with the weight of unspoken memories. I'm Liz, or I was. I don't know anymore. I was a nurse here years ago, before the fog came, before the curse. Asheville used to be a real town, small but alive. Then one night the fog rolled in, thicker than anything natural, and it brought things, creatures, shadows. They took people, changed them. The ones who didn't get taken were trapped. Like me, I've been here ever since, trying to help anyone who stumbles in, but most don't make it out. The curse feeds on fear, on despair. It twists reality, makes you see things, hear things, until you break. Sam's chest tightened, her words painting a picture too horrifying to fully grasp. The idea of a town caught between worlds, a curse that fed on fear, and he thought of Marla, her death 3 years ago, the leukemia that had stolen her from him and Selena, the despair he'd felt, the guilt of not being able to save her, and he wondered if this curse could sense that, if it was already reaching for him. But he pushed the thought aside, his voice firm. We're not breaking, we're getting out. You said you've helped people, so help us. What do we need to do? Liz led them to a small room off the main corridor, a former nurse's station, its desk covered in dust, a cracked mirror reflecting their pale faces, and she barred the door with a chair, her voice low. There's a way out, but it's not easy. The curse anchors Asheville to this other place. A ritual started it decades ago, a cult that wanted power. They opened a door they couldn't close, and now the town's a prison. But there's a focal point, a church in the center of town, St. Mary's. If we can get there, we might be able to break the anchor, weaken the curse enough for you to escape. But it's dangerous. The closer you get, the worse the fog fights back. Selena's eyes widen, her voice a whisper. A church, will there be monsters there too? Like the ones outside? I don't want to see them again. They were so scary. Liz nodded, her expression grim. Yes, there will be, worse ones. The fog protects its heart. It'll throw everything at us. But I'll protect you. I've been fighting them a long time. I know their weaknesses. They don't like light. They don't like hope. So we hold on to that. We keep moving, no matter what. Sam set Selena down on the desk, his hands on her shoulders, his voice steady despite the fear gnawing at him. We'll be okay, baby girl. I won't let anything happen to you. Ms. Liz knows what she's doing. We trust her, right? Selena nodded, her small hand squeezing his, and Sam turned to Liz, his dark eyes searching hers. You've been here a long time. How are you still? Why hasn't this place broken you? Liz looked away, her gaze distant, her voice barely above a whisper. It has, in ways you can't see. I hold on because I have to, because if I don't, No one else will make it out. I've seen too many die here. Too many give up. I won't let that happen to you two. Not if I can help it. Sam felt a pang of sympathy for her, this woman who'd saved them, who carried the weight of Ashvale's curse on her shoulders, her beauty a stark contrast to the despair in her eyes. And he nodded. Then we do this together. We get to that church. We break the curse. We get out. All of us. Liz gave a small, sad smile, her voice soft. I hope so, Sam, but Ashvale doesn't let go easily. Be ready for anything. They gathered what they could. Selena tucked her pine cone into her pocket. Sam found a rusted scalpel on a tray, a makeshift weapon to pair with his flashlight, and Liz checked her rifle, her movements precise, a soldier's discipline in a nurse's form. And as they prepared to move, a low moan echoed through the hospital, the sound reverberating off the walls, a chorus of voices, the echoes Liz had warned of, whispering, "Stay forever, you belong here." And Selena whimpered, her hands covering her ears, her voice a cry. "Make it stop. Dad, I don't want to stay. I want to go home." Sam pulled her close, his heart breaking at her fear, his voice a fierce promise. "We're not staying. We're going home. I swear it." And as Liz kicked the door open, leading them back into the fog, the hospital's shadows seemed to reach for them, the curse of Ashvale tightening its grip, a nightmare they'd have to fight through, together, if they ever hoped to see the sun again. The fog outside Ashvale General Hospital swirled like a living entity as Sam Carter, Selena, and Liz stepped into the cold, damp air, the oppressive mist closing in around them, its tendrils curling through the broken streetlights, the eerie silence of the town shattered by distant, guttural moans that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere, the cursed atmosphere of Ashvale pressing down on them as they moved towards St. Mary's Church, Liz leading the way with her rifle raised, her torn nurse's uniform clinging to her model-like figure, her green eyes scanning the shadows, her voice a tense whisper. "Stay close. The fog knows we're coming for the church. It'll fight harder the closer we get. Don't trust anything you see. Don't listen to the whispers. They'll try to break you." Selena clutched her pine cone, her small hand gripping Sam's, her curly hair damp with mist, her voice trembling as she pressed against him. "Dad, I hear them again. The voices. They're saying my name. They're saying Mom's name. I don't like it. Make it stop." Sam's heart clenched. The mention of Marla, his wife, taken by leukemia 3 years ago, stirring a raw pain. The whispers in the fog twisting into Marla's voice, soft and pleading. "Sam, why didn't you save me? Why did you let me come to me? Stay with me." And he froze, his dark eyes wide, the flashlight trembling in his hand, the guilt he'd carried since her death crashing over him like a wave, the despair Ashvale fed on threatening to pull him under, his breath shallow as he whispered, "Marla, I'm sorry. I tried so hard." Liz spun around, her voice sharp, cutting through the fog's illusion. "Sam, it's not her. It's the curse. It knows your pain. It's using it. Fight it. For Selena, you have to fight it." Selena's small hand tugged at his, her voice a desperate cry. "Dad, please. It's not Mom. I need you. Don't leave me." Her words snapped him back, the image of Marla's face dissolving into the mist, his love for Selena anchoring him, and he shook his head, his voice hoarse. "I'm here, baby. I'm not leaving you. I promise. Let's keep moving." They pressed on, the streets of Ashvale twisting unnaturally, the buildings seeming to lean closer, their broken windows like eyes watching their every step, the whispers growing louder, more insistent, now joined by distorted shapes in the fog. All creatures more horrifying than the ones they'd faced before, their forms barely humanoid, their bodies stretched and emaciated, their faces featureless except for gaping maws lined with needle-like teeth, their limbs ending in claws that dragged along the pavement, the sound a screeching torment. And Liz raised her rifle, her voice steady. "They're coming! Get behind me! Now!" Sam pulled Selena behind a rusted car, his scalpel clutched in one hand, his flashlight in the other, its beam shaking as the creatures advanced, their movements erratic, their moans a chilling chorus. And Liz fired, the rifle's report echoing through the fog, each shot precise, the creatures shrieking as bullets tore through them, black ooze spraying, but there were too many, a dozen at least, their numbers overwhelming, and one broke through, its claws slashing at Liz, ripping through her uniform, a gash opening on her arm, the black ooze mixing with her blood, and she stumbled, her voice a gritted shout. "Sam, help me! I can't hold them alone!" Sam surged forward, his scalpel flashing as he drove it into the creature's back, the blade sinking into its unnatural flesh, the thing screeching as it collapsed, and he grabbed Liz's arm, pulling her back, his voice urgent. "You're hurt. We need to regroup. We can't fight them all." So Liz nodded, her face pale, her hand pressing against the wound, her voice strained. "The church, it's just ahead. We can make it, but they'll keep coming. We need light. They hate it. Use the flashlight. Aim for their faces." Sam swung the flashlight, its beam catching a creature's featureless face, the light searing its flesh, the thing recoiling with a scream, its body smoking as it retreated into the fog, and Liz fired again, her shot buying them enough time to sprint toward the church. Mary's looming through the mist, its steeple crooked, its stained glass windows shattered, the doors hanging off their hinges, an ominous sanctuary in a town of nightmares. And they burst inside, Sam slamming the door shut, barricading them with a pew, his chest heaving as he turned to Liz, his voice tight. "You're bleeding bad. Let me look at that. We need you if we're gonna get through this." Liz shook her head, her green eyes dull with pain, her voice a whisper. "No time, it's not just the wound. It's the curse. It's in me. I can feel it. I've been here too long. It's trying to take me, but I won't let it. Not until you're safe." Selena, her eyes wide with fear, knelt beside Liz, her small voice trembling. "Don't leave us. Miss Liz, you saved us. You're so brave. Please don't go." Liz managed a weak smile, her hand brushing Selena's cheek. "I'll try, sweetheart. I'll try for you." Sam tore a strip from his shirt, wrapping it around Liz's wound, his hand steady despite the dread in his chest. Her words about the curse sinking in, the idea that she was fighting not just the creatures, but something in her mind, something this town had done to her. And he thought of Marla again, the helplessness of watching her slip away, the guilt he'd carried, and he vowed he wouldn't lose Liz too. Not like this. His voice firm. "We're getting out. All of us. You hear me? We're not leaving you behind." Liz nodded, her breath shallow, and pointed to the altar at the front of the church, its cross twisted, the air around it shimmering with an unnatural energy, her voice a strained whisper. "That's the anchor, the curse's heart. We need to break it. There's a ritual. I've seen it in my dreams. Salt, fire, a prayer, but it'll fight back. It'll show you things. Try to stop you." Sam stood, his scalpel and flashlight ready, Selena by his side, her small hand in his, and he looked at Liz, his voice a promise. "We'll do it, together. We'll break this curse, for you, for us, for everyone this town's trapped." The air in the church grew colder, the whispers rising into a scream, the fuck seeping through the cracks, the curse of Asheville waking to defend its heart, and Sam knew the hardest fight was still ahead. A fight to escape the nightmare, a fight to keep his promise to Selena, to Marla, to himself, a fight Wild Wolf would have to win. The air inside Mary's church grew frigid as Sam Carter, Selena, and Liz approached the altar, the twisted cross at its center pulsing with a sickly green light, the fog seeping through the shattered stained glass windows, its tendrils curling like skeletal hands, the whispers of Asheville's curse rising into a deafening cacophony. a chorus of anguished voices screaming, "Stay, forever, you cannot leave." The sound clawing at Sam's mind, his dark eyes narrowing as he gripped his scalpel. His flashlight casting erratic shadows on the peeling walls. Selena clinging to his side, her small frame trembling, her pine cone clutched tightly, her voice a frightened whisper. "Dad, it's so cold, I can hear them. They're so loud. I don't want to stay here. I want to go home." Sam knelt, his hand on her shoulder, his voice steady despite the fear gnawing at his gut. "We're not staying, baby girl. We're breaking this curse. We're getting out. I promise, just stay with me. Be brave for me, okay?" Selena nodded, her eyes wide but determined. And Sam turned to Liz, the nurse who'd saved them, her torn uniform stained with blood and black ooze, her face pale as she leaned against a pew, her rifle slipping from her weakening grip, her green eyes dull with pain, her voice a strained whisper. "The ritual, salt, fire, a prayer. There's salt in the sacristy, matches too, but the curse, it's fighting me. I can feel it inside. It's trying to take me. You have to hurry." Sam's chest tightened, the sight of Liz's struggle stirring the same helplessness he'd felt watching Marla fade, the leukemia stealing her life 3 years ago. But he pushed the memory down, his voice firm. "Hold on, Liz. We're doing this together. You're not giving up. Not now." He moved to the sacristy, a small room behind the altar, its door hanging off its hinges, the air inside heavy with the scent of rot. And he found a rusted tin of salt on a shelf, a box of matches beside it, their heads damp but usable. And he grabbed them, his hands steady as he returned to the altar, the green light intensifying, the whispers morphing into Marla's voice again. "Sam, you failed me. You'll fail them. Stay with me. Stay." And he stumbled, the guilt crashing over him, his vision blurring as Marla's face appeared in the fog, her eyes hollow, her hands reaching for him. But Selena's cry broke through. "Dad, it's not Mom. Don't listen. Please." Her voice anchored him, and he shook his head, his voice a growl. "I won't fail. I'm getting us out." Liz, her breath shallow, pointed to the altar. "Pour the salt, circle it, light the matches, say a prayer, any prayer. It'll weaken the anchor, but it'll fight back. It'll show you things, don't believe them." Sam poured the salt in a shaky circle around the altar, the green light flaring, the fog surging, and he struck a match, its flame flickering in the cold air, the whispers rising into screams as he lit the salt, the fire catching with an unnatural hiss, the flames burning blue, and he pulled Selena close, his voice steady as he recited the only prayer he knew, one Marla had taught him. "Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name." The words faltering as the curse fought back, the fog coalescing into shapes, creatures, more horrifying than before, their bodies a mass of writhing limbs, their faces a collage of stolen features. Marla's among them, her voice a distorted wail. "You can't leave me. Sam, you belong here." Sam's heart pounded, his grip on Selena tightening, his voice rising. "Thy kingdom come, thy will be done." And the creatures lunged, their claws slashing, one catching Liz across the chest, her scream echoing as she fell, her rifle clattering to the floor, blood pooling beneath her. And Sam dropped the scalpel, grabbing the rifle, his hands shaking as he fired, the bullets tearing through the creatures, their bodies dissolving into the fog. But more came, an endless wave. The curse's final stand. Liz clutched her chest, her voice a gasp. "Keep going. Don't stop. Finish the prayer." Sam's voice broke as he continued. "On earth as it is in heaven." The flames flaring higher, the green light pulsing violently, the creatures swarming, and he fired until the rifle clicked empty, dropping it to shield Selena, her sobs muffled against his chest. And he shouted the final lines, "Deliver us from evil. Amen." The flames exploded, a wave of heat and light blasting through the church, the green light shattering, the creatures screeching as they disintegrated, the fog retreating, the whispers silenced, and the altar cracked. A low rumble shaking the building as the curse weakened, its anchor broken. But Sam's relief turned to horror as he looked to Liz. Her body slumped against the pew, her eyes half open, her voice a faint whisper. "You did it. Get out. Now." Sam rushed to her, his hands pressing against her wound, his voice desperate. "Liz, hold on. We're getting out together. You're coming with us. You have to." Liz shook her head, a sad smile on her lips, her hand reaching for his. "I can't. I never could. I'm part of this place. Been here too long. I'm not real. Not anymore. I was a memory, a shadow, to help you." Her words hit Sam like a punch, the realization dawning that Liz wasn't just a survivor, she was something else. A spirit, a guardian bound to Ashvale. And as the fog continued to retreat, her form began to fade, her body dissolving into the light, her voice a final echo. "Find the gas station. North Edge. Go home. Live for me." Selena sobbed, her small voice breaking. "Ms. Liz, don't go. I don't want you to go." Liz's fading hand brushed Selena's cheek. "Be brave, little one." And then she was gone, the church falling silent, the air warmer, the curse's grip loosening. But Sam's heart ached, the loss of Liz a fresh wound, her sacrifice giving them a chance to escape, a chance he wouldn't waste. And he pulled Selena to her feet, his voice firm. "We're going, North Edge, gas station. We're getting out. We're going home." They stumbled out of the church, the fog thinning, the streets of Ashvale still eerie but less oppressive. The whispers gone, the creatures vanquished, and Sam held Selena close, his flashlight guiding them north, Liz's final words echoing in his mind, a bittersweet promise of freedom, a promise Wild Wolf would keep, for his daughter, for the woman who'd saved them, for the life they'd reclaim beyond the fog. The fog in Asheville began to thin as Sam Carter and Selena stumbled out of St. Mary's Church, the oppressive weight of the curse lifting with each step, the air growing warmer, the eerie whispers silenced after the ritual had shattered the anchor. But the town still loomed with an unnatural stillness, its streets twisted and broken, the buildings sagging as if the curse's defeat had drained their life. And Sam's dark eyes darted through the fading mist, his heart heavy with Liz's sacrifice. The nurse's final words echoing in his mind. "Find the gas station. North Edge. Go home. Live. For me." Her fading form a haunting memory as he held Selena close, her small body trembling against his, her pinecone clutched tightly, her voice a broken whisper. "Miss, Liz is gone. Dad, she saved us, but she's gone. Why did she have to go? I didn't want her to go." Sam knelt, his hands on her shoulders, his voice thick with emotion. "I know, baby girl, I didn't want her to go either. She was special. She gave us a chance, and we're gonna honor that. We're gonna get out. For her, for us, for Mom, okay?" Selena nodded, her tear-streaked face set with determination, and Sam stood, his flashlight flickering but still functional, its beam guiding them north through the desolate streets, the lingering fog swirling around their ankles. The town's decay more pronounced now, the pavement cracking beneath their feet, the air filled with a faint hum, as if Asheville itself was groaning in its final moments, a cursed place unraveling with the curse's end. They moved quickly, Sam's boots crunching on broken glass, his scalpel tucked into his belt, his senses on high alert for any lingering threats. The memory of the creatures, their writhing limbs, their needle-filled maws still fresh. But the streets were empty, the horrors of Asheville retreating with the fog, and Selena's small hand in his kept him grounded. Her presence a reminder of why he fought, why he couldn't give in to the despair that had nearly broken him when Marla died. The leukemia that had stolen her 3 years ago, the guilt he'd carried, but now, with Liz's sacrifice, He felt a flicker of redemption, a chance to be the father Selena needed, the man Marla had believed in. The north edge of town came into view, the fog thinning enough to reveal a rusted sign, Ashevale Gas and Go, hanging crookedly over a dilapidated gas station. Its pumps ancient, their hoses cracked, the windows of the attached convenience store shattered, the interior dark, and Sam's heart lifted at the sight. Liz's words a beacon of hope. But as they approached, the ground trembled, a low rumble shaking the town, the buildings behind them beginning to crumble. Their walls collapsing into piles of ash and debris, as if Asheville was dissolving. The curse's hole breaking but taking the town with it. And Sam's voice was urgent. "We need to hurry. This place is falling apart. Stay close. We're almost there." They reached the gas station, Sam kicking open the door to the store. The air inside stale. The shelves empty except for a few scattered cans. A rusted cash register tipped over on the counter, and he spotted a metal canister in the corner. Its label faded, but the slosh of liquid inside confirming it was fuel, enough to get their truck moving. And he grabbed it, his voice steady. "Selena, check the pumps. See if there's a hose we can use. I'll get this to the truck." Selena nodded, her small frame darting outside, her voice calling back. "There's one? Dad, it's old, but it might work." Sam followed, his eyes scanning the crumbling town, the fog now a faint haze, the horizon visible for the first time since they'd arrived. The forest beyond Ashevale a promise of escape, but the rumble grew louder, the ground splitting, cracks racing toward them, and Sam worked fast, pouring the fuel into the truck's tank, his hands shaking as the station's roof groaned, pieces of it falling, the town's collapse accelerating, and he shouted, "Selena, get in the truck, now!" She scrambled into the passenger seat, her pine cone still in hand, her voice a mix of fear and hope. "We're gonna make it. Right. Dad, we're gonna get out. Like Ms. Liz said?" Sam jumped into the driver's seat, his heart pounding as he turned the key, the engine coughing once, twice, then roaring to life, the sound a lifeline in the chaos, and he nodded, his voice firm. "We're getting out. Baby, I promise, and I'm keeping that promise." He floored the gas, the truck lurching forward, the gas station collapsing behind them, the pavement cracking as they sped toward the town's edge, the forest coming into view, the fog dissipating completely, the sky above a pale gray, the first hint of dawn breaking through. And Sam's eyes stung with tears of relief as they crossed the invisible boundary, Ashevale vanishing in the rearview mirror, the town dissolving into ash, its curse broken, its grip on them severed. The forest road stretching ahead, the path back to reality, back to Portland, back to life. They drove in silence for a while, the hum of the engine a comforting contrast to the horrors they'd faced. Selena curled against him, her small voice soft. "Liz was like an angel, wasn't she? Dad, she helped us, even though she couldn't leave. I'll never forget her." Sam nodded, his throat tight, the memory of Liz's fading form, her sad smile, her final words, a weight he'd carry forever. And he said, "Yeah, baby, she was our angel. She gave us a second chance, and we're gonna live it for her, for Mom, for us." The road ahead led them back to the main highway, the fog gone, the world returning to normal. But Sam knew they'd never be the same. Ashevale's horrors etched into their memories, a nightmare they'd survived together, a testament to their bond, to Liz's sacrifice. And as they drove toward the rising sun, Sam felt a quiet resolve. He'd keep his promise to Marla, to Selena, to live fully, to love fiercely, to be the father his daughter deserved. A father who'd fought through hell and come out the other side, a father who'd never stopped fighting for their light. The highway stretched endlessly before Sam Carter's pickup truck as the first rays of dawn broke over the Oregon forest on May 17, 2025. The sky shifting from gray to a soft pink, a stark contrast to the suffocating fog of Ashevale they'd escaped just hours ago. The cursed town now a fading nightmare in the rearview mirror. Its crumbling streets and grotesque creatures dissolved into ash as the curse broke. But the memory of Liz, the mysterious nurse who'd saved them, who'd sacrificed herself to guide them out, lingered like a ghost. Her final words: "Find the gas station. Go home. Live. For me." Echoing in Sam's mind, his dark eyes fixed on the road, his hands steady on the wheel despite the exhaustion weighing on his 40-year-old frame, his shoulder aching from the frantic escape. Selena curled up in the passenger seat, her small body finally still, her curly hair matted with sweat, her pine cone resting in her lap, her breathing soft as she slept. The terror of Asheville replaced by the peace of safety, a peace Sam had fought for, a promise kept to his late wife, Marla, to protect their daughter no matter the quintuant. The truck's engine hummed steadily, the fuel from the rusted canister at Asheville's gas station holding up, a small miracle after the horrors they'd faced. And Sam's thoughts drifted to Liz, her torn nurse's uniform, her fierce green eyes, her haunting revelation that she was a spirit bound to the town, a shadow who'd held on to help them. And he felt a pang of grief for her, a woman who'd given everything to ensure their survival, her sacrifice a debt he could never repay. But one he'd honor by living fully, by giving Selena the life Marla had dreamed for her, a life of wonder and love, free from the shadows of Asheville. The highway signs began to appear, familiar names: Eugene, Portland, marking their return to reality. The GPS on the dashboard flickering back to life, its signal restored as if Asheville had never existed. And Sam's phone buzzed in his pocket, a flood of missed calls and messages from friends, from Selena's school, a reminder of the world they'd left behind, a world they were finally returning to. But he didn't check it, not yet. His focus on the road, on getting them home, on the promise of a hot shower, a warm bed, a chance to process the nightmare they'd survived, a nightmare that felt like a fever dream, too surreal to be true, yet too vivid to dismiss. Selena stirred, her small voice sleepy but curious. "Dad, are we home yet? Did we really get out? Was Liz, was she really an angel? I dreamed about her. She was smiling. She said she was happy we made it." Sam's throat tightened, his hand reaching to brush a curl from her face, his voice soft. "We're almost home. Baby girl, we got out. Thanks to Liz, and yeah, I think she was an angel. Our angel. She's happy we're safe. I know she is." Selena smiled, her eyes fluttering closed again, and Sam's heart swelled with love, with relief, the weight of Asheville lifting with every mile. But a part of him wondered if they'd truly escaped, if the curse could reach them even now. The whispers, the creatures, the fang, a shadow he'd carry forever, a reminder of how close he'd come to losing everything, to failing Selena, to failing Marla. But he pushed the thought aside, focusing on the road, on the future, on the life they'd reclaim. They reached Portland just as the sun climbed higher, the city waking up, its streets bustling with early morning traffic, a stark contrast to Asheville's desolation. And Sam pulled into their small apartment complex, the site of their modest home, a 2-bedroom unit with Marla's old flower boxes still on the windowsill, a balm to his weary soul. And he parked, his hands trembling as he turned off the engine, the silence that followed a quiet victory, a testament to their survival. And he carried Selena inside, her small body light in his arms, her breathing steady as he laid her on her bed, her room a sanctuary of stuffed animals and drawings, a world untouched by Asheville's horrors. And he kissed her forehead, whispering, "We're home, baby. I kept my promise." He stepped into the living room, the morning light streaming through the window, and sank onto the couch, his body finally giving in to exhaustion, his mind replaying the nightmare, Marla's voice in the frame, the creatures, Liz's fading smile, and he wondered if it had been real, if Asheville had truly existed, or if it was a shared hallucination, a trick of the mind. But the pine cone on the coffee table, the dirt on his boots, the ache in his shoulder. All told him it was real, too real. A nightmare they'd survived, a nightmare that had changed him, made him stronger, made him realize how much he'd been holding back, how much he'd let guilt and grief define him since Marla's death. But no more reason. Liz's sacrifice had given him a second chance, a chance to live fully, to love fiercely, to be the father Selena deserved, and he'd take it. He'd live for her, for Marla, for Liz, for himself. The day passed in a blur of normalcy, Selena waking to pancakes, her laughter filling the apartment as she recounted their camping trip, carefully avoiding Asheville, as if she sensed Sam wasn't ready to talk about it. And he let her, his heart lighter with every smile, every giggle, the horror of the town fading into the background. A memory they'd carry but not let define them. And as evening fell, Sam sat on the balcony, a cup of coffee in his hands, the city lights twinkling below. A quiet moment to reflect, to grieve, to hope. And he thought of Liz, her fierce determination, her sad smile, her final words, and he whispered to the night, "Thank you, Liz, we're living for you. We'll never forget you." The stars above seemed to twinkle brighter, a silent acknowledgement, a guardian's blessing, and Sam felt a peace he hadn't known in years, a peace born of survival, of love, of a promise kept, a promise to live, to love, to be the father Selena needed. A father who'd faced the darkness of Asheville and come out into the light. A father who'd never stop fighting for their future. A future they'd build together, free from the foe, free from the curse, free to be. 6 months had passed since Graham Carter and Selena escaped the cursed smog of Asheville. The nightmare of that May night on the Oregon back roads, now a distant but vivid memory. The Portland skyline glowing softly outside their apartment window on a crisp November evening in 2025. The city lights a comforting contrast to the suffocating mist they'd survived. Sam sitting at the kitchen table, a cup of tea steaming in his hands, his dark eyes softer than they'd been in years. The weight of Asheville's horrors still present, but no longer a burden. A scar he carried alongside the grief of losing Marla. A scar that had made him stronger, more present, a better father to Selena, who now sat across from him, her curly hair tied back, her small hands busy with a sketchbook, drawing a picture of a nurse with a rifle, her voice bright as she added details. "This is Mrs. Liz. Dad, look, I gave her wings, 'cause she was our angel. She helped us get out of that scary place. I miss her, but I think she's happy we're okay." Sam's throat tightened. The memory of Liz, her torn nurse's uniform, her fierce green eyes, her fading form as she urged them to escape, flooding back, her sacrifice a turning point that had given them a second chance. And he smiled, his deep voice warm. "That's beautiful. Baby girl, she'd love it. And yeah, I think she's happy, wherever she is. She wanted us to live, and we're doing it for her, for Mom, for us." Selena nodded, her smile radiant, and Sam's heart swelled with pride. The past 6 months a testament to their resilience, their bond stronger than ever. Selena thriving in school, her sketches of marine life and starry skies winning awards, her laughter filling their small apartment, a sound that had been rare after Marla's death, but now a daily joy. And Sam had changed too. The guilt he'd carried since Marla's leukemia battle 3 years ago finally easing. Asheville's curse forcing him to confront his fears, his failures, and emerge a man who lived fully, who loved fiercely, who cherished every moment with his daughter, a man who'd kept his promise to Marla to give Selena a life of wonder. The weeks after their escape had been a blur of normalcy, returning to work at the auto shop, fixing cars with a renewed focus, Selena's bedtime stories filled with tales of their camping trip, carefully avoiding Asheville, though Sam knew she remembered. Her sketches of Liz, a quiet testament to the trauma they'd shared, and he'd taken her to therapy, a gentle counselor helping her process the fear, the loss, while Sam found solace in talking to a friend at the shop. a Vietnam vet who understood the weight of surviving the unexplainable. And together they'd healed, their apartment becoming a sanctuary. Marla's old flower box is now blooming with daisies Selena had planted, a symbol of new beginnings, of life after the fog. Sam had tried to find Berdashville again, driving back to the same back road a month later, but the town was gone, the forest untouched, no sign of the rusted "Welcome to Asheville" sign, no trace of the wow station, the church, as if it had never existed. And he'd stood there, the wind rustling through the trees, whispering a quiet thanks to Liz, wherever she was, her memory a guardian in his heart, a reminder of the strength he'd found, the love he'd fought for, and he'd driven home. The mystery of Asheville unsolved, but no longer a threat. A chapter closed, a nightmare survived. Now, as November's chills settled over Portland, Sam and Selena prepared for their first Thanksgiving since Asheville, a small celebration with friends from the shop, a turkey roasting in the oven, the apartment filled with the scent of sage and cinnamon, a warmth that pushed back the shadows of the past. And Selena looked up from her sketch, her voice curious. "Dad, do you think Miss Liz can see us like Mom does, from heaven? Do you think they're friends, watching us be happy?" Sam paused, his eyes misting as he thought of Marla, her gentle smile, her love for Selena and Liz, her fierce determination, her sad farewell, and he nodded, his voice soft. "I think so. Baby, they're watching, and they're proud. They know we're okay. They know we're living the way they wanted us to." Selena smiled, returning to her sketch, and Sam stood, stepping onto the balcony, the city lights twinkling below, the stars above, a quiet reminder of the night they'd escaped. And he thought of Liz's final words, "Live for me," a promise he'd kept, a promise that had transformed him, from a man haunted by guilt to a father who embraced every moment, who taught Selena to dream, to explore, to love. And as the first snowflakes of the season began to fall, dusting the balcony in a soft white, Sam felt a peace he hadn't known since Marla's death, a peace born of survival, of love, of a journey through the fog that had led them back to the light, a journey they'd never forget, a journey that had made them whole. From a cursed fog town to a safe return, Sam and Selena survived with Liz's help, finding peace. Thanks for listening. Please like, share this video, and don't forget to subscribe with notifications on for our latest stories. Your support means the world to us.